Enough is enough. Alexandra Eala's emotional outburst shakes the tennis world. The stadium was silent, not the usual respectful hush before serve. This silence was heavy, uneasy, the kind that makes every breath sound too loud. The crowd at the Tokyo Women's Open had just witnessed something rare, raw, and undeniably real. Alexandra Eala, the rising tennis prodigy from the Philippines, had thrown her racket, not in anger, but in anguish. And then, with tears streaming down her face, she looked straight into the cameras and whispered the words that would echo across the tennis world. Enough is enough, the breaking point. It had been a long, bruising week. The 20-year-old Eala had fought her way through a tough draw, 3 grueling matches in 3 days, each one testing her both physically and mentally. But it wasn't just her opponents she was battling for months. Whispers had trailed her on tour, too emotional, too outspoken, not ready for the big stage. Commentators dissected her every move. Pundits compared her to established stars like Coco Gauff and Emma Raducanu, often implying that Eala lacked their composure. On social media, the scrutiny was even harsher. Anonymous critics mock her accent, her heritage, her fiery court demeanor. They called her the overhyped Asian wild card. But Alexandra Eala was not one to shrink under pressure. She had been raised to fight, with discipline, with heart, and above all with honesty. Yet on that fateful evening in Tokyo, after losing a close tiebreak and hearing jeers from a few spectators mocking her reactions, something inside her cracked. I'm not a robot. When the chair umpire announced a changeover, Eala sat down, towel over her face. Cameras zoomed in as she began to shake her head, whispering to herself. Her coach, Nino Barocca, later revealed that she was muttering the same phrase over and over. I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. Moments later, she walked toward the net, asked for the umpire's microphone, and breaking every unspoken rule of tennis etiquette, addressed the crowd directly. I've been holding this in for a long time, she began, voice trembling but clear. Every mistake I make, every time I show emotion, people say I'm immature or dramatic, but I love the sport. I give it everything I have. I cry because I care. I shout because I feel I'm human, and honestly, enough is enough. The words hung in the air. Some clapped, others gasped. The umpire tried to intervene, but it was too late. The world had just witnessed Alexandra Eala's moment of truth. The storm after, the calm. The next morning, headlines blazed across sports outlets. Eala's emotional explosion, a meltdown, or a message? ESPN, enough is enough. Tennis, stars outburst sparks mental health. Debate, BBC Sport, from passion to protest. Alexandra Eala breaks the mold. The Manila Tribune, social media lit up with divided opinions. Some called her an inspiration. Others labeled her unprofessional. Yet beneath the noise, one fact became clear. Eala had struck a nerve. Former players like Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova quickly came to her defense. King tweeted, "Women in sport are allowed to show emotion." Alexandra Eala reminded us that strength isn't silence. Coco Gauff, a close friend and frequent doubles partner, reposted a video with a simple caption, "Proud of you, sis. Keep speaking your truth." Meanwhile, critics accuse her of turning tennis into a stage for personal drama. A few sponsors even questioned whether her temperament fit their brand image, but Eala didn't apologize. Instead, she doubled down. The statement that changed everything. 2 days later, Alexandra posted an open letter on Instagram. It was raw, poetic, and brutally honest. Tennis saved me when I was a little girl who didn't believe she was enough. But lately it feels like the world only loves you when you're perfect. I'm tired of pretending. I play with emotion because that's who I am. I'm done hiding behind polite smiles and scripted answers. Enough is enough. This isn't just about me. It's about every athlete who's been told to calm down, every woman told she's too much. If loving this game loudly makes me difficult, then I'll be difficult forever. Within hours, the post had over 1 million likes and thousands of comments. Serena Williams herself commented, "You're speaking for an entire generation. Never dim your fire." What began as a breakdown had become a breakthrough. The conversation shifts. By the end of the week, talk shows, podcasts, and even sports psychologists were dissecting Ella's moment, what she had done, breaking decorum using her platform mid-match was unprecedented, yet it sparked something deeper, a reckoning about emotional authenticity. In sports, Dr. Rina Ko, a Japanese sports psychologist, noted, for decades, female athletes have been conditioned to smile through pain and keep emotions contained. Alexandra Eala's outburst wasn't defiance. It was liberation. In the Philippines, Eala's homeland, fans rallied behind her. Street murals appeared in Manila with her image. In the quote, "Enough is enough," painted in bold red. Youth groups use her words to launch campaigns about mental health awareness and gender stereotypes in sports. Suddenly, Eala wasn't just a tennis player. She was a voice behind the tears. Privately, however, Ella admitted that the days following the outburst were some of the hardest of her life. In an exclusive interview a week later, she confessed, "The court of humanity." Perhaps the greatest irony of Ella's journey was that her outburst, initially seen as an act of defiance, became an act of healing for her, for fans, and for sport itself. In her final press conference of the season, she said something that captured the essence of her transformation. People think control means silence, but I've learned that control means choosing your voice and standing in it even when it shakes. The crowd erupted in applause. And just like that, Alexandra Eala wasn't just playing tennis anymore. She was rewriting its emotional language. One tear, one triumph, one truth at a time. Epilogue, the match after storm. 6 months after her Tokyo outburst, Alexandra Eala faced the same opponent in the semifinals of the Madrid Open. The match went 3 sets, each a microcosm of revolution. Rage channeled into rhythm, emotion refined into excellence. When she clinched match point, she felt her knees, eyes closed, but this time no tears, only a deep-centered smile. During the post-match interview, a reporter asked, "Alexandra, do you still stand by your words? Enough is enough." She laughed softly. "Always, but now it means something different. It means I've had enough of pretending, enough of fear, enough of silence. From now on, it's about joy." The crowd cheered, and the tennis world knew this wasn't just a rise of a player. It was the awakening of a spirit. Final reflection. In every era, sport gives us one defining moment, a spark that forces the world to look inward. For Serena, it was dominance. For Naomi Osaka, it was honesty. For Coco Gauff, it was activism. For Alexandra Eala, it was a courage to break and rebuild herself in front of millions. Her words, "Enough is enough," will forever stand as both a cry and a promise. That emotion is not weakness, that strength can weep, and that sometimes the loudest statement in tennis doesn't come from a racket, it comes from a heart. Thank you for watching. please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next